Summer's arrived in Italy and it's time for warm turquoise waters, spectacular cliff faces and glistening sand. Sound dreamy? Today we're heading south to the heel of Italy for a deep dive into the best beaches in Puglia.
Ciao a tutti and benvenuti to Untold Italy, the travel podcast where you go to the towns and villages, mountains and lakes, hills and coastlines of Bella Italia. Each week your host, Katie Clark, takes you on a journey in search of magical landscapes, history, culture, wine, gelato, and of course, a whole lot of pasta. If you're dreaming of Italy and planning future adventures there, you've come to the right place.
Do you dream of speaking Italian but feel stuck? I hear you. Whether you want to connect with your Italian heritage, a partner, or you want to live in Italy, finding the right tools to match your learning style is important. My friend Michelle from Intrepid Italian offers a practical approach to learning Italian with her unique 80-20 method, teaching you only what you need to know. As an adult learner herself with Italian heritage, she really knows how to bridge the gap between English and Italian. As Angela from Australia said, I put my inability to learn down to my senior stage of life, but with Intrepid Italian, it seems to just fit. To find out how Intrepid Italian can help you learn Italian and to claim an exclusive $20 coupon code that you can use on any of Michelle's online courses from beginner to intermediate, visit untolditaly.com/Italian or visit the link in the show notes. As a bonus, you'll also get a downloadable travel phrase guide absolutely free. So visit untolditaly.com/Italian to accelerate your Italian. Ciao, buongiorno everyone. Here we are already in June. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it's here, and that means people hit the beach in Italy. Now, when most of us think of Italian beaches, we often picture the Amalfi Coast or the Cinque Terre. But if you're after sun-kissed shores with fewer tourists, clear, calm waters, and that laid-back southern Italian charm, Puglia is where the magic happens. In this episode, we're taking you from the sandy stretches of the Ionian coast to the dramatic cliffs of the Adriatic. We'll share where to go for a proper beach day, which spots are worth the detour, and where to base yourself for the ultimate Italian beachside escape. My guest, Nikki Taylor, is a fellow Aussie and Italian property expert who has made Puglia her home. She's done all the hard, shall we say, work and scoured the Pugliese coast for the best stretches of sand. So relax and get ready to discover the wonderful beaches of Puglia. Andiamo. Let's go. Bentornata, Nikki. Welcome back to the Untold Italy podcast.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's always such great fun chatting with you and, sharing some tidbits on Italy. And we're going to be talking today about Puglia beaches, I believe. So that's something I know a lot about, given that I do live here. So, yeah.
Exactly. Beautiful Puglia. How's summer shaping up there?
Well, it's absolutely roasting. But Puglia goes from we don't really have a spring anymore. It goes from winter to scorching. So you don't get a chance to adjust. And of course, the Italians are still out in their parka jackets and, the scarves and all that because, they have them surgically removed at the end of July. And then as soon as 1st of September comes, officially autumn, they've got the parkas on again.
They're really funny out there, aren't they? It's like, I'm melting, and you've got your puffer on. So, as you said, Puglia is one of Italy's favourite beach destinations. But before we find out where to go from you, a local, can you give everyone a quick recap on who you are, what you do, and why an Aussie girl is living the life in gorgeous Puglia?
Well, I have been living in Puglia since 2017. I've been in Italy for nearly 11 years now. My background was financial planning and banking, kind of hit a wall with corporate burnout and decided to pack up and move to Italy, started working in real estate immediately because the company that I was working for needed someone that spoke English. And luckily that's all they needed me for because I didn't speak any Italian at that stage. And then after about a few years working in the real estate and holiday rentals industries, I set up my own consulting business and created the very first course in the country and the industry on guiding foreigners how to buy real estate. and then creating the very first digital property magazine called La Dolce Vita Lifestyle Magazine, and being fortunate enough to be featured on House Hunters International a few times and various other publications. So life is pretty good. I mean, I live in Martina Franca, got a beautiful olive grove view of Loch Rotondo, and I must say, I don't miss the corporate world one iota.
She's very tanned, she's very blonde, she's very Australian, and she's living her best life. Now, the thing is, Nikki just skipped over this, and she has been on House Hunters International twice. And if you're one of those people that love this show, and like our whole family does, my kids love it, you need to go and have a look. And she does a great job of guiding some people. I think it's in Maratea and Sicily, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, Maratea, Basilicata, and Terracini in Sicily. And I'll tell you what, anyone that's thinking about buying a property in Sicily, look at Terracini, because that town has gone gangbusters after House Hunters.
Oh.
And the rental income on these properties, the big people are buying holiday homes and renting them out, they're getting a really, really good return. So, yeah, there's a tip for you.
Good one. It's just right near Palermo as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's right near Palermo. It's very close to the airport, close to Mondello, close to Castellammare del Golfo. So it's a really strategic spot. Absolutely stunning.
Okay, amazing. But I think everyone is kind of enamored of Puglia at the moment.
We had a 228% increase in foreign tourism just in last year.
I believe it.
I mean, that is just insanity.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell as well, because it's still a pretty immature tourism market, which is part of the charm, actually. But, I mean, I guess one of the main reasons that people come is for those world-renowned beaches. Maybe they're mainly European-renowned, like the Europeans really know about Puglia beaches and the Italians. But as an Aussie, we know about beaches, don't we? So...
And I must say, as an Aussie, swimming in the sea, on the ocean, I don't even know what it is anymore in Australia, you're always worrying about the sharks. Here, relax, that you're not going to get killed, and it's a very relaxing experience being by the beach here. And I saw something yesterday on social media that Puglia has been now voted for the 5th year in a row having the cleanest beaches in the whole of Italy. So if that's not a motivation to check it out, I don't know what is.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we can set the scene for everyone, because if people don't really know Puglia very well and the coastline, it's quite unique because there is a lot of coastline and it's a bit different from area to area, isn't it?
Yeah, so we have two coastlines. We have the Adriatic side. So if you think about your Polignano, Mare and Monopoli going all the way down to, past Lecce, that's the Adriatic coast. And the Adriatic coast, there's more rocks and... there's lots of like little rocky cliffs and little grotte, and it's really, really, really beautiful. And I'm going to go in a minute with some of my favourite spots there. But then we have the Ionian side, which is my personal favourite. They call it the Italian Maldives. It's the softest sand and the clearest water. It's like so blue and so turquoise, and then it's so warm. It's like being in a warm bath, and you just walk out for miles and it's still up to your waist. It is absolutely stunning. And so people who are going to Puglia with small children, it's absolutely ideal because the kids can, run around in the sea, and, they're not going to be, you go in Australia, you do 2 steps and all of a sudden it's like deep as anything. You just keep walking out. You look like on a giant sandbar the whole time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there must be like miles and miles of coastline there because it just goes on. So Puglia, for everyone that doesn't know, is in the heel of the boot. So like literally the coast goes all around the heel of the boot in Puglia, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe to help people out, what's it like compared to the Amalfi Coast, as an example?
Less traffic for a start. The water is much warmer. The water is so, so warm. I mean, don't get me wrong, Amalfi Coast is absolutely fantastic. Definitely a must-visit place. I would say a one-off place to visit because it is just so crazy. But Puglia is just, the sea is just so different. So I'm going to start with the Adriatic side and share some little hot spots of some gorgeous towns that I absolutely love down there. I started my journey in Puglia in Monopoli, and Monopoli in the town has its own little Cala Porta Vecchia it's called, and it's like a little inlet. And I tell you what, in August, it's an absolute fight to get a piece of sand just to put your towel down. And I have age now, 46 years old. I don't want to sit on the sand anymore. I have to have a sunbed. I don't care how much it costs me. I'm not having fights over towels and all that sort of stuff. However, that is where I started my Puglia beach journey was, Monopoli. And Monopoli goes all the way down. There's all these beautiful little mini beaches called Cala Verde, Cala Bianco, and they are free beaches. So you can brave yourself with all the Italians in August and try to get a little patch of sand, but they are absolutely stunning. And it's just like little rocky kind of inlets. And then you go further down, there's a Capitolo, which is a very, very long, long beach. And I don't like Capitolo so much because I find that when they call it the maestrale. So they have two winds. The wind on the Adriatic is the maestrale and the wind on the Ionian is the scirocco. So basically when the wind on the Adriatic is happening, that means that the Ionian side is really, really flat and vice versa. But if you're on a long, long, long stretch of beach like Capitolo and it's windy, you're going to feel it. So it's nicer to have those kind of little inlets, kind of like smaller, kind of more intimate beaches that's more protected from the elements. One of my absolute beautiful favourite places is Castro Marina. So Castro Marina is kind of surrounded by these little cliffs and the water is just turquoise, beautiful turquoise blue. You can hire what are those little things called when your little boats that you kind of pedal boats?
Pedalos, yeah.
Hire those and get around, and it's absolutely stunning. And then further down, you've got Tricase Porto, and there's this beautiful pink castle on the coast, which is absolutely stunning. And if you want to go to have something really, really nice to eat, you go into Tricase. Helen Mirren has an enoteca there. I can't remember the name of it. But, yeah, really, really gorgeous. Tricase Porto and Castro. Then you've got Santa Cesaria Terme, which is like a spa kind of coastal town, and people do go there for a lot of spa kind of, treatments if they've got, sinus issues and things like that. That's also really stunning. But then my second favourite down on that side is Otranto. I mean, Otranto is just absolutely stunning. It's got that, all the town right on the water, beautiful long jetty, gorgeous coastline, beautiful, stunning, colourful water. Absolutely beautiful. I actually have never been to, what is it called, the Grotta della Poesia, that big grotta, and people into it. And I said to my friend yesterday, I really want to go this summer. Apparently it's crumbling. You can't go on it anymore.
Oh, dear. So a grotta is like a sea cave. So would you recommend, from Monopoli downwards, it's quite a long coastline. Where's the kind of the good bases to find these beaches from?
I think if you're going to be up more the Alto Salento, which is highest upper Salento area, Monopoli is a fantastic place to base yourself because you're next to Polignano Mare, you're close enough to Ostuni, you're close enough to the Val d'Itria. It's a really, really, really good base. If you're going further south, Otranto, because you're close to, Castro, Lecce, Tricase, that's a really, really good base to kind of see all that because it is a pretty long drive to get all the way down there.
Yeah, and you really do need a car, don't you? I mean, Monopoly not so much. You can probably do some stuff.
I lived in Monopoly for a year without a car because the train is good as well. The train goes to Bari and, all the way down to Lecce. So, yeah, that's a really easy place to get around.
And it's so cute at night time, isn't it? Like with all the little piazzas dressed up.
Yeah. Monopoly is my home. So that is, my favourite spots on the Adriatic. But like I said, it is very rocky. It is quite raw. And I'm not someone that likes, to sit on rocks, get cramp in your bum sitting on the rocks or sitting on the stones. So I much prefer for me to be on the Ionian side, which is just absolutely stunning. I discovered this really cute little beach a year ago called Lido di Gandoli. And Lido di Gandoli is just past Taranto. And I'm not really a major fan of Taranto, but this Lido is absolutely stunning. No one really knows about it. You can get parking for like €2. And easy parking is something to really think about because there's been times when I've had to walk 500 metres from the parking to the beach with small kids, with a pram, in 40-degree heat. So finding a place that's got parking there is crucial. So Lido di Gandoli is absolutely gorgeous. They have a restaurant there as well. That is absolutely beautiful. Then you go further down to Porto Cesario, which is just magnificent. That's when you start to really get from Porto Cesario and further south, really get into that kind of like Italian Maldives kind of feel, Torre La Pillo. And there's some really fun beach clubs that are along the way. So my favourite is one called Bahia. You need to book online. It's not cheap, but they do give you a bottle of bubbly when you arrive to your sunbed. And it's the best place because I'm so lazy when I'm on the beach. I just want to press a button. Someone brings me my drinks. Someone brings me my food. Like I don't even have to get up and do anything. Just go into the beach, eat my food, and so on. So that is all the Torre La Pillo area. Absolutely stunning.
Are you even Australian? Because that is just so un-Australian, is to be having a sunbed with a button on the beach. Come on. Like in Australia, everyone goes down with their own umbrella, their cool box, their towels. Look, I am converted to the Italian way. I mean, I grew up the Aussie way, but like it's just not as civilized, you know? It really isn't.
Yeah, honestly, I have become so Italian like that because when you've got kids as well, it's a nightmare just to get them out of the house, in the car, with all the bags. To think about carrying an umbrella and a cool box and all that, no, not on my watch. Yeah, go somewhere that's easy, press a button, bring it all for you, and job's done.
Make your pick: cappuccino, espresso, spritz, limoncello, spritz, prosecco.
I mean, why not?
And the best snacks ever.
I must say, I do laugh though when you see the Italian families on the more on the free beaches because at the Lido, the paid Lidos, you can't do that. But they've got a huge bag, and there's like lasagna, there's the parmigiana, there's the rice salad, there's the every bit of fruit known to man. The little flask of the coffee, and I'm just like, all of this you eat on the beach when it's like 40-degree heat. You're eating all this hot food.
It's always about the food down there, isn't it?
Always about the food. So I really love as well is Pescolozze. Pescolozze is the official Maldives of Italy. So you're right further, like it's literally right at the very end. So for me, from Martina Franca to get down there is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And there's a really good beach. And again, we're going to get a theme here. So another Lido, which is really good, called Tropical Elite. They don't have a buzzer, unfortunately, but you have to just wave down a waiter and they'll just keep bringing you stuff. As long as you don't have to get up and, God forbid, use your legs and go and order something yourself. What's a beautiful town to visit as well is actually where the Ionian and the Adriatic coastlines meet, which is Santa Maria di Leuca. It's like the bottom part of Puglia where the two coasts meet, and it's a stunning little town. I had some clients buy a property very close to that town and got an absolute bargain. So, guys, if you are looking at buying properties in Salento, it's still very untouched. There are a lot of properties that do need to be restored, but you can get some absolute bargains. I've got a lot of clients buying down there at the moment because this part of Puglia has been priced out. It has gone absolutely gangbusters. So down there, you just get some absolute bargains, and the beach is just so much more beautiful down there. So why wouldn't you?
So where would you fly into there? Is it Brindisi or?
Yeah, because Bari would just be too far.
Yeah.
And from, I think it's now, they're doing the direct flights from JFK to Brindisi, JFK to Bari. So it's much easier. But you need a car. You definitely need a car.
That was my next question. How's the car rental infrastructure down there?
It's pretty good. You have to book it in advance, at the airport. It's pretty good. And I must say, after driving in Palermo last week, you can pretty much drive with your eyes closed in Puglia because these Sicilians, scooters coming out the wazoo, no one merges, no one indicates, the lines on the road is just like ornamental purposes. I mean, I was like freaking out. And I find in Puglia, they drive very relaxed, actually a little bit too slow for my liking. They don't indicate, but, it's very easy to get around Puglia in a car. Very, very easy.
I agree. I've driven there and I wasn't frightened at all. Which it has happened in other parts of Italy, including in the north of Italy. I'm looking at you, Liguria. And, I feel like Puglia, it's got its own identity, but it's not dissimilar to Sicily, but it's much more relaxed. It's like a relaxed vibe of Sicily.
It's very relaxed, and I find I love being with people when they come to Puglia for the first time. and they just just completely in awe of it because it is so beautiful and it is so unique, and there is nothing like Puglia in the whole of Italy because those little whitewashed towns, it's got that really Greek vibe to it, and it's still very undiscovered and untouched, and it's like Disneyland for adults, really.
Well, yeah, even though there has been such an increase in tourists, I think it's really concentrated in particular areas. Like you said, down on the Ionian coast, you're really not going to get a lot of tourists, especially not English-speaking tourists down there.
I do feel that the tourism down there, it is going to ramp up, but the infrastructure isn't as great. So the roads, there have got loads of potholes in the roads. But I feel like with gentrification and the fact that there is a lot more people investing down there, it's like how Monopoli and Ostuni and Polignano was probably 15 years ago, and before it had a major boom. And I do feel, and I have been watching, and I'm a real estate hawk, watching the prices go up consecutively over the last 5 years, and it's been quite remarkable to watch. But it is very much still local people.
And so, they don't speak a lot of English, though, either, do they? So you need to try a little bit when you're down there, people. We do a lot of episodes on Puglia on this podcast, and it is very, very special, and I think people are very interested in it for really good reason. One beach we didn't mention, and I'd just love to get your opinion on it, is the very famous one in Polignano a Mare, which has got that spectacular in the cliff face, and it's a rocky beach, isn't it?
Mare and Monopoli, stunning place, absolutely stunning. For me personally, don't really fancy having giant rocks stuck to my bum when I'm sitting down, laying down, like literally like having like the hardest massage ever. Like you got your towel there and you're laying down and your whole body's just like somewhat like getting like a Chinese torture massage or something. It's like, it's a bit intense. However, it is absolutely beautiful. It is beautiful. We have such extreme weather situations at the moment. Like each Christmas, it's warm enough that people are in the sea. And, of course, there was an Aussie in the sea on Christmas Eve last year because he had the green and gold budgie smuggler on. He had a beer in his hand and he was at Mare and Monopoli swimming, and I'm like, oh, wow. All the Italians are horrified. Guarda quello pazzo. I was like, yeah, that's an Aussie.
Well, I tend to agree. It's not necessary. Anyway.
So, yeah, I mean, Polignano is absolutely beautiful. However, I do feel that there are so many other – it's definitely a must-see to visit for sure. But I would say that there are so many other more beautiful beaches. Oh, another beach that I forgot to mention. That's one of my favourites. I'm going to be staying there next week, actually. Santa Maria al Bagno. It's like a postcard. That is very close to Nardo, and I'm going to be going down there for a client next week, and I'm going to be staying down there because it's just a stunning little beach. And Santa Caterina, which is on the other side, absolutely stunning little beach. So I was in the middle of a total argument on that beach when some guy had bought his huge umbrella and all these towels first thing in the morning and left them on the beach, right? Bear in mind, there's not that much space. He turns up and someone had moved his stuff, right? And I was in the middle of this family and his stuff, which he hadn't gotten. He turns up at 10 to 12 and gets angry at everybody for moving his stuff. And I'm just sort of sitting there. It's just like going absolutely nuts. So I always have very fond memories of Santa Maria al Bagno for that reason, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, they've done so much to it. They've, put loads of restaurants there, really cool bars, terrace bars with, sea view terraces and stuff, and it is absolutely stunning. So there's two parts to it. There's a part where you can actually get the sun lounges, and on the other side, where I was the first time, it's kind of like, you pick a patch of sand and you sit down, but it's just stunning.
Amazing. How much would the sun lounges cost, just to give everyone an idea?
If you're somewhere kind of like very basic, it would be about €15. If you're somewhere that's a bit bougie, like Bahia, you could be paying over €100.
Yeah, and that's for the day though.
Yeah, that's for the day. Yeah, it's for the day. Some of these beach clubs you will need to book in advance for sure.
They're getting better with the online, or you send them a WhatsApp. I love that. I just had a thought, what about the north of Bari in the Gargano Peninsula? What are the beaches like up there?
It's really beautiful up there. I've only ever driven up there the once, and I was completely blown away by the beauty of it. It is absolutely stunning. However, The drive is a nightmare because it's like, imagine like the Amalfi Coast. It's all curves and it might be like 12 kilometres or 20 kilometres of curves and it will take you over an hour. So if you're going to go up that way, you need to allocate for a lot of driving time, a lot of curves. And if anyone gets car sick, I would not recommend doing that drive.
Because that area is supposed to be amazing. Like, it's really the national park.
It's so untouched. It is absolutely stunning. However, it's an absolute mission to get there.
Have you been to the beach yet this summer? Because seeing as it's so hot?
I haven't. I will go this next week because I've got the pool at home. I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay by the pool, put my music on, Prosecco in hand, you know. I mean, I've got my own beach club at home, so I kind of like just do that.
Oh, she's rubbing it in now.
Sorry for the listeners listening to this in cold Melbourne or cold Australia right now.
It's very cold. I can't lie. Anyway, Nikki, I can really understand so much how Italians and Europeans love to spend their summers down in Puglia. It just sounds pretty special. So thanks for sharing your favourite spots. But before we sign off, can you let everyone know how they can follow your adventures in Italy or learn more about your property services?
Perfect. So I'm on Insta, which is Nikki Taylor's _La Dolce Vita. And I share pretty much all of, you know, my day-to-day life when I'm doing my property viewings and stuff like that, you know, and in there is a link to my website. You can find out about the membership that I have and my magazine. And if you want to get in contact with me about, you know, wanting to buy your dream home, I do work all over Italy, not just Puglia. And, yeah, it'd be great to connect.
Amazing. So I hope you have an amazing summer and you get to sit on those lounges, especially the one with the buzzer. That sounds great.
I'm definitely doing the buzzer beach this year for sure.
Enjoy. We're all jealous and we're all super jealous. And grazie mille. Thank you for coming back on Untold Italy.
Thank you for having me.
Ciao.
Ciao.
There's really nothing like getting the local perspective on the lay of the land, is there? My parents live on the coast and it's so true. The wind direction and situation with the tides are all important. So I really appreciate Nikki sharing this insider knowledge with us. If Puglia's beaches weren't on your radar before, perhaps they are now, and maybe you're already picturing yourself toes in the sand, buzzer at the ready, so you'll always have a fresh spritz in hand. I know I am. As always, all the names of the beaches and places Nikki mentioned, plus all her contact details in case you're ready to dive into the Italian property market, are now in the show notes at untolditaly.com/277 for episode number 277. Before we go, we'd love it if you could take a moment to leave us a quick review on your favourite podcast app. It helps more curious travellers discover Untold Italy, and it means the world to us. And don't forget to subscribe because next time I'm chatting with CNN Max journalist Erica Hill about her wonderful new documentary, Saving Venice. Thanks for listening, and until then, it's ciao for now.
The Untold Italy podcast is an independent production. Podcast editing, audio production and website development by Mark Hatter, production assistance and content writing by the other Katie Clark. Yes, there are two of us. For more information about Untold Italy, please visit untolditaly.com.